He laughs with his team while my son clutches the lottery check behind me. I'm 34, an accountant, from Akron, Ohio. From where I'm standing just outside the glass office where they're clinking mugs over some joke, it looks like he's won something too. I glance down at Jason, 8 years old, standing proud with his backpack crooked and the corner of the check sticking out of his little zip folder. "Should we go in?" I whisper. He nods eagerly. "Let's surprise Daddy." That's what we said in the car. That's what we planned last night, whispering over apple slices and a printed map of the route to Tyler's downtown office. I had even rehearsed it in my head. "Hey, honey, look what we brought." I imagined his eyes going wide, his mouth dropping open, then hugging us both as the team clapped. That was the scene I wrote for myself, but now I'm watching him lean into Leah, his assistant, as he chuckles and adjusts his cuff. They don't notice us. Or they do, and pretend not to. There's a difference, but it's hard to tell through the tinted glass. Jason tugs my coat sleeve. "He looks happy," he says. I swallow. Yeah, my voice doesn't quite land. He's wearing the suit I picked out for his birthday last year, navy blue with the faint grid lines that reminded him of power chess moves. The receptionist, who has already buzzed him once and left a message, smiles tightly and says, "You can just go ahead. He's not in a meeting." Not in a meeting, but holding court like a man about to propose a merger. I open the glass door, and heads turn not all at once, not in that movie moment way, but in slow ripple, polite surprise sliding into stiff posture. "Marissa," Tyler says. His eyes drop to Jason. "Hey, buddy." No hug, just a flick of his wrist that lands like a greeting card line. "What brings you here?" It's not cold, it's not cruel, it's worse, it's casual. Jason says, "We wanted to give you something." He digs into his folder, proudly unfolding the check, and for a moment, I see it flash across the room, the green numbers, the little embossed seal at the corner, the handwritten line with both our names, Marissa and Tyler Henley. $50 million. Before anyone speaks, I jump in. "We didn't tell anyone." "You're the first." Tyler's jaw tightens, not in shock, not in joy, in calculation. He recovers quickly, claps his hands once, and laughs too loud. "Wow, that's incredible." He looks at Leah for a beat too long. She smiles, but only with her lips. Jason grins. "Mom scratched it off at the gas station." It was the third one. Tyler crouches to Jason's height. "That's amazing, bud. You've got lucky hands." Then he stands, takes the check, and holds it up like a trophy. The room claps slowly, awkwardly, led by Mr. Doyle, his office manager, who doesn't even get up from his chair. I don't miss it. No one asks a single question. No, how did it happen? No, what will you do first? No, let's take a picture. I force a smile. We figured we'd share the moment. Surprise you. You did, he says, and walks over to the mini fridge. "Champagne for the team," he calls. "We're celebrating, people." A few muttered cheers. Leah walks to the printer in the corner. Her heels click too quickly for someone going nowhere. Jason, oblivious, spins on the chair and asks, "Will we get a new car now?" I kneel beside him. Not today, but maybe something safer. Tyler pops a bottle, not champagne, sparkling cider. He pours into plastic flutes. Someone jokes, "Now you can finally quit, boss." Tyler laughs. "Retire? With a kid in private school?" I smile, but it doesn't reach my cheeks. He hasn't looked at me in the eyes for more than 2 seconds since we walked in. I study Leah as she grabs the printed sheet, folds it, then walks past Tyler, not toward her desk, but toward me. Her fingers tremble slightly. She slips the folded page into my palm. Her voice is barely audible. "You should read this later." I nod once. Jason says, "Daddy, are we still going to the bank?" Tyler stiffens. "What bank?" Jason looks confused. "You said we weren't going, remember?" Tyler recovers fast. "I meant, we'll do it later. Grown-up stuff." He tousles Jason's hair and looks at me, harder this time. "Want to head out for lunch? Just us 3? "I think we'll get going," I reply. "Didn't mean to interrupt your day." "You're not interrupting," he says too quickly, then adds, "Just caught me off guard." "Good," I say. That was the point. He tries to kiss my cheek again. I turn toward Jason instead. "Let's go, baby." As we walk out, I can feel it, the heat behind my ears, the cold sweat at the base of my spine, the folded page in my hand like a live wire. Jason skips ahead, humming. Tyler's laugh echoes behind us. I don't look back. I didn't scream when I saw the numbers. I didn't drop the card, or clutch the counter, or call anyone. I just stood there, staring at the scratch-off in my hand like it was a misprint. Jason was still picking out gummy bears at the gas station shelf, humming a song he probably made up. The hum faded as he noticed I wasn't moving. Mom? I turned slowly, holding the card like a fragile photograph. We need to go, I said. He blinked. Did we win? Yes, I said. That's all I could manage. In the car, I locked the door twice. I kept the windows up. I didn't play the radio. I drove slower than usual, watching every turn, like something might leap out and demand I prove it. When we got home, I checked the numbers again. 3 times. I took out my work calculator just to punch in the match values like I was balancing a spreadsheet. Jason sat cross-legged on the rug, watching cartoons, the ticket now resting beside him like a pet he didn't want to touch without permission. I told him, "It's a lot of money, baby. We have to be smart." He nodded solemnly. "Can I still get extra cheese on my pizza tonight?" I laughed, not the full kind, but the one that spills out when your body doesn't know what else to do. "Yeah, I think we can swing that." That night, after he fell asleep with one hand still clutching the check like it was a passport, I made tea and sat at the kitchen table for hours. No calls, no texts, no celebrations. I didn't even pour wine. I opened a blank Word doc. At the top, I typed $50 million. Then below it, plan. But nothing came after that, not right away. Instead, I stared at the blinking cursor. All I could think was, he's going to smile. Tyler is going to light up when I show him. He'll pick me up off the ground. He'll tell me I was right to do it quietly, to wait until we had it in hand. Because that's what we used to do, right? We were partners. I tried to remember the last thing we planned together, our anniversary trip. No, we canceled that. Jason's school fundraiser? Maybe. I deleted the word plan and wrote protect, then Jason, then, finally, ours. I printed the check receipt, not the original, just a duplicate confirmation from the lottery site with our matching claim ID. It had our names, both, Marissa and Tyler Henley. I tucked it inside the back of Jason's school folder, not my purse. Not the safe, Jason's folder. I don't know why, maybe because if something happened, I knew no one would question a kid carrying papers. Maybe because it felt right. The next morning, I called in sick. Told Tyler I had a headache, which wasn't entirely a lie. He didn't ask much, just said, feel better, and that he'd be working late. Working late. Again. I let Jason sleep in. I made him pancakes with chocolate chips shaped like a smiley face. I told him we were going to make a special trip, but it was a secret between us. Like a spy mission? He asked. Something like that. He beamed. He loved secrets. He packed his own bag. He even wore the shirt with the superhero cape stitched to the back. When I told him not to let anyone else hold the check, he saluted me. Yes, ma'am. The car ride was quiet except for Jason's humming. I had the route printed out, GPS silent, and a bottle of water tucked into my jacket pocket. I still hadn't told anyone. Not even my sister. Not my best friend from college. No one. I thought about what silence meant. Not fear, strategy. A space where I could observe, decide, act. Somewhere on I-77, Jason asked. Will Daddy be surprised? I smiled. I think so. Will he be happy? I paused. I think he will. Why wouldn't he be? Jason shrugged. He says he doesn't like surprises. I didn't respond. I just drove. The office tower came into view an hour later, its glass reflecting the blue sky. Too clean, too tall. We parked underground. Jason insisted on carrying the check himself. I let him. Stay close, I said. He nodded. In the elevator, he stood in front of me, tiny but determined. A knight with a treasure. I rehearsed my lines again. We wanted to tell you first. You won't believe what happened. This is ours. But when the elevator doors opened, all I saw was a man laughing at something I didn't get to hear. Surrounded by people who didn't know I was coming. Or did. That's when everything went quiet. Not literally, the room still buzzed, but something inside me clicked off. Like a lens shutter. Like a dimmer. As if my body said, observe. Not yet. He didn't come running. He didn't ask what we were doing there. He didn't hug Jason. He smiled. a practiced one. And I thought, that wasn't for us. It was for them. I looked at Leah. I saw her eyes shift from Tyler to me, not wide in joy, but tight in concern. The kind of look you give someone who's about to find out something in the worst way. I knew, in that moment, something was wrong. But I didn't flinch. I smiled. I said the line. We wanted to give you something. And Jason beamed beside me, check in hand, eyes wide with pride. He still believed we were on a mission. I let him believe it. I wasn't ready to rewrite the story. Not yet. The elevator opens to a hush that isn't really quiet. It's the kind of silence that has shape, like a wall you walk into without seeing. The receptionist glances up, her fingers still tapping against the keyboard, as if she doesn't fully register what she's looking at. Then a flicker of recognition. I smile, soft, controlled. Marissa Henley, Tyler's wife. We're here to see him. Jason adjusts his backpack, the top edge of the check, peeking out of the folder like it's watching everything, like it knows more than we do. The receptionist straightens in her seat and clicks something on her screen. He's not in a meeting, so you can go ahead. His office is straight through the glass corridor. She motions behind her like she's letting us into a museum instead of a space where I've dropped off lunches, signed birthday cards, and once sat with a feverish Jason while Tyler finished a call. That was 2 years ago. Jason skips ahead, his sneakers squeaking slightly. I watch the way the team looks up from their screens, not startled, not cheerful, just aware. One woman gives a tight-lipped smile. Another quickly turns back to her screen. No one says, "Hi." No one says, "Oh my God, Marissa?" I let Jason lead the way, his small frame proud, confident. He holds the check like it's his badge into adulthood. The folded corners crinkle slightly where he's been gripping them too hard. I want to tell him to relax, but I don't. I want to protect the look on his face, the one that says we are doing something good, something beautiful. At the end of the hallway, the glass door to Tyler's corner office stands half open. Laughter spills out Tyler's, unmistakable, deep and polished, the sound he uses when he's on. Leah's voice follows, something about onboarding documents and schedule overlaps. Jason stops, hesitating. He turns to me. "Do we knock?" "No," I say gently. "We're the surprise, remember?" He nods and pushes the door the rest of the way open. "Daddy!" he says, like a spark going off in a dark room. The laughter halts. For half a second, the whole office pauses, not in a dramatic movie freeze, but in that strange human way people freeze when something arrives that doesn't fit the current mood. Tyler looks up from his seat behind the desk. He stands, but not fast. His face shifts, smile holding, but his eyes stutter before catching the right shape. "Jason," he says, too loud. Then, "Marissa." Wow, what a surprise. He steps forward and pats Jason's head. "What brings you here, buddy?" Jason looks confused by the question. "To give you something," he says, already unzipping the folder with a grin that makes my chest tighten. "Something really cool." Tyler's smile flickers. I recognize that microsecond of panic, not terror calculation. "Really? What is it?" Jason pulls out the check with 2 hands, holds it up like a painting, arms wide. "Mom won the lottery," he says proudly. "We both did. Our names are on it." Tyler takes it slowly, blinking. "This is... wow." He turns it in his hands like he doesn't quite believe it. "This is... real?" "Very," I say, voice neutral. "It's already been verified. We claimed it yesterday. Thought we'd surprise you." Leah has stepped back. She isn't smiling. She's watching him. Not the way an assistant watches her boss, like a person watching a situation they've already seen go bad once before. "That's incredible," Tyler says, setting the check down on his desk like it's fragile. "You should have called first, though." "Why?" I ask. "You're not in a meeting." "Still," he says with that rehearsed warmth, "I would have made time for something like this." Jason climbs into the chair in front of the desk and swings his legs. "We were gonna wait," he tells Tyler. "But Mom said we should do something fun with it, so we came here." Tyler forces another smile. "That's great thinking." He turns toward the glass wall and gestures vaguely to the office. "Team, can we get some sparkling cider or something? Let's celebrate." No one moves for a moment. Then Mr. Doyle, who has been lurking near the doorway, nods and walks out to fetch something. Leah doesn't move. She just stands near the printer, clutching a paper she hasn't filed yet. Tyler bends down and kisses my cheek. It's brief, practiced. His lips are dry. "You're full of surprises," he says, too softly for Jason to hear. "We're just getting started," I reply. My tone is lighter than it feels. Jason looks between us. "Will we get a pool now?" he asks. Tyler chuckles. "But it's delayed." "Maybe. That's a big decision." "Mom said we could buy something safe," Jason adds. "Like a car." "Smart," Tyler says, standing upright again. "Always thinking like an accountant." I glance at Leah. Her hand trembles slightly as she sets the paper in a manila folder. She doesn't look at me, just at him. I file it away. Jason, oblivious, hums a little song while spinning in the chair. The check rests beside him on the desk, curling at the corners. Tyler pours 2 glasses of cider from the bottle Doyle returns with. He hands one to Jason. "To new beginnings," he says, raising his glass. Jason clinks it eagerly. I take the other glass but don't drink. "So," Tyler says, "what's the plan? Big trip? House upgrade?" "We'll see," I reply. "Thought we'd talk about it. Together." "Right," he says, "together." He glances at Leah, then quickly back at me. "We should take the day off. Go to lunch. Just us." "Maybe," I say. "We wouldn't want to ruin your flow here." "You seem busy." Jason slurps from his cup. "Can we go to the bank first?" Tyler's face stills. "What?" Jason looks up. "You said we weren't going, remember?" "You said Mommy was probably going to wait." The room pauses. A long, small silence. Leah coughs once. Tyler laughs lightly. "Oh, I just meant we'll wait till things settle, you know? Paperwork, adult stuff?" "Oh," Jason says, then adds, "Okay." I watch Tyler. That smile again, tight, precise, not fully reaching his eyes. I sip the cider. It's too sweet. "Well," I say, "we just wanted to stop by. We'll leave you to it." "Wait," he says, "at least let me walk you down." "We're good," I say, already guiding Jason toward the door. Leah steps forward. She doesn't speak. Just holds out a folded piece of paper toward me, subtly, like it's nothing. I take it with 2 fingers. "Thanks," I say quietly. She nods, doesn't smile. Jason skips ahead into the hallway. I hear his voice float back. "This was fun." Tyler doesn't say anything as we leave, but I feel his eyes on my back all the way out. Jason hums as we wait for the elevator, twirling the now empty cider cup like it's a toy. I hold the folded paper Leah gave me, my fingers brushing the edges without opening it. Not yet. Not in front of Jason. Not in this building. The elevator takes too long, so we turn back toward the lobby where Mr. Doyle still hovers, pretending to read a memo pinned on the staff board. I recognize the avoidance. It's not just busybody energy, it's the kind of nervous sidestep people make when they've witnessed something already unfolding behind the curtain. He glances at me when he thinks I'm not looking, then looks away again. We pass him, and I say, not loud but clear, "Good to see you again, Mr. Doyle." He jumps slightly, then mutters, "Yes, yes, of course. You, take care, Mrs. Henley." The way he says my last name, it sounds borrowed, like he doesn't know if I still own it. We reach the front doors. Jason pushes one open, then pauses. "Wait," he says. "I forgot my folder." I turn to him. "Are you sure?" "It has my lucky coin," he says, already trotting back toward the hallway. "And the check." He says it loud, innocent, and unaware. The receptionist gives me a look. I return it with a closed-lip smile. "We'll be quick." Jason darts down the corridor like he knows the place. He's never been here before. Not really. But kids remember the layouts of love, or what's supposed to be love. I follow, a few paces behind, slower this time. I let my eyes drift across the framed awards lining the walls, the fake potted plant that hasn't been dusted, the certificate with Tyler's name in bold for Employee Equity Leadership Q1 2023. It means nothing, but it's supposed to mean everything. As I near the office again, I hear voices, lower this time. Leah. "You should have told her." Tyler. "She didn't need to know." Leah again. "She's not stupid, Tyler." There's a pause. Then Tyler's voice again, quieter. "I'm handling it." I step around the corner. The door is slightly ajar. Through the narrow opening, I see Tyler standing near the mini-fridge, his back to me. Leah stands near his desk, arms folded. Jason is nowhere in sight. He must have ducked into the side chairs or found the folder already. I don't push the door open. Not yet. I let myself listen. Tyler, this was supposed to be clean. Leah, it never is. You wanted both. Tyler, it's not like that. Leah laughs softly, a tired sound. She walked in with a kid and a lottery check. You think this doesn't blow back? Tyler, I'll figure it out. Then silence. I knock once and open the door like I heard nothing. Sorry, I say. Jason forgot his folder. Tyler turns fast, too fast. Oh right, yeah, no problem. You should have let me grab it. Leah has already moved to a filing cabinet pretending to search for something. I glance at her, then back at Tyler. He says it has his lucky coin, I say. Guess he doesn't want to test fate. Tyler chuckles awkwardly. Smart kid. Jason reappears from behind the chair, folder in hand, waving it like a victory flag. Found it, he beams. We can go now. Great, I say. I walk toward him. As I pass Tyler, he leans in and kisses my forehead. The contact is brief, his lips dry. When he pulls back, I see it. His hand brushes against his pant leg, a flick, like he's wiping something off. He doesn't know I'm watching, but I see it. Like a reflex. Like I've stained him. Let's go, I say. We've got some celebrating to do. Where to? Tyler asks. Wherever we want, I reply. 50 million buys flexibility. He laughs, too loud again. Leah still hasn't looked at me directly. Jason walks beside me, humming again, folder clutched tight. As we exit the office a second time, Mr. Doyle is there again, like a shadow that never left. I stop this time. How long have you worked with my husband, Mr. Doyle? He clears his throat. Close to 7 years, I'd say. So you know him well? We work closely, yes. I nod. That must be useful. Seeing who people really are, day to day. He doesn't respond. Just nods politely, then pretends someone is calling from down the hall. I don't stop him. Jason tugs my arm. Mom, when will we go to the bank? Soon, I say. We'll go soon. Outside, the air feels too clean. The kind of cold that carries no sound, no smell, just pressure. Jason skips ahead, stopping to look at a puddle. I open the folded paper from Leah, a printed email. Subject line, 401 transfer inquiry urgent, sent from Tyler's address to an account I don't recognize. Requesting clarification on asset withdrawal timing, asking about how long funds need to be held in the new account before they're shielded from marital claims. Forwarded chain includes responses from HR. Leah's note, scribbled in blue ink at the bottom. He deleted this from his sent folder. I recovered it yesterday. I refold it, slower this time. Not shaking. Not yet. I reach Jason. He looks up at me. Are we mad at Daddy? He asks. No, I say, crouching to his level. We're just learning something important. Like school? Exactly. He nods. Okay, can we get ice cream? We can get whatever we want, I say, because now I know. I have proof. Not just of money, of something worse. Something bigger. And if Tyler thinks I'll panic, or cry, or run, I won't. I'm an accountant. I read the fine print. I build the case before I bring it to the table. And now I have a receipt. And a reason. Tyler sits behind his desk, spinning the pen between his fingers like it's a baton, and he's the master of this moment. The check rests in front of him, unfolded now, flat and center like a shared trophy. He taps it twice with the back of his hand, smiling in that way people smile when they're trying to convince a room they're comfortable. Can you believe this? He says to no one in particular. 50 million. I always knew Marissa had luck. I don't correct him. Jason sits beside me, his legs swinging off the edge of the guest chair, chewing the straw of a juice box Leah brought in from the kitchen. The office is fuller now. Mr. Doyle lingers near the printer, pretending to organize files. A junior associate I barely recognize leans against the wall, sipping coffee but not talking. Leah stands by the door, arms crossed, eyes darting between Tyler and me like she's waiting for something to explode. It was her ticket, Jason pipes up. Mom bought it at the gas station with her coffee. You did? Tyler says, turning to me. I thought you stopped buying those. I did, I reply. Until that day. Must have been fate, he says, and laughs, short and tight. I reach into my bag and pull out the manila folder. Slow, deliberate. Tyler's smile dips a little. What's that? Backup, I say. Claim confirmation. Official copy from the lottery office, just in case anyone questions it. I slide it across the desk. He opens it, glancing over the page. At the bottom, a small receipt slip is stapled. Book 241, page 19. Clerk, B. Wallace. Claimed the 7th of September 2024. His jaw tightens before he smooths it. Wow, you're always prepared. Old habits, I say. Accountant blood. Jason leans forward. Can I keep the original? Of course, I say. Tyler laughs again, too loud. Well, you heard the boss, he says to the room. Junior gets the real check. A couple polite chuckles echo weakly. No one asks questions. No one congratulates me. That part sticks. They nod, they smile, but none of them ask the natural things. Not even Leah. Tyler shifts in his chair, then looks at me. We should talk about next steps. I agree, I say. We need to decide where to place the money. Trust fund, maybe. Legal safeguards, tax preparation. He waves a hand. Yeah, I've got a guy. We'll set something up. I already did, I say, letting it hang. I called a firm this morning. Which firm? Kleiner and Wallace, I say. They handled the initial filing. We can continue with them or shop around. Tyler's lips part slightly, surprised. Then he recovers. Good call. Jason jumps in again. Mom says we shouldn't tell too many people yet. That's smart, Leah says quietly. Tyler glances at her, then back at me. So we're aligned. That's good. You're good with us keeping it quiet? I ask. Until paperwork's done? Of course, he says quickly. Discretion is key. I tap the folder gently. Good. Then we'll keep this between us, family and trusted colleagues. Leah shifts at that word. Tyler clears his throat. You're right. Probably best for Jason's safety, too. Exactly, I say. Jason finishes his juice box and crushes it with a loud pop. Everyone flinches slightly. He giggles. Tyler smiles tightly. I'll have Doyle set up a meeting with the finance team Monday. We can talk long-term holdings, real estate, maybe start an LLC. Slow down, I say. We're not buying a football team. Just exploring options, he says. This kind of money needs structure. I know, I say. That's why I want to be involved. Of course you will, he replies, but something about the way he says it doesn't sound like a promise. It sounds like PR. I glance at Leah. Her arms are folded tighter now. She won't meet my eyes. Jason fidgets in his seat. I put a hand on his shoulder. Let's go get lunch. Already? He asks. Didn't Daddy say we'd celebrate here? He did, I say, but celebrations are better when they're real. Tyler rises. I'll come with you. We can talk on the way. No, I say. This was enough for now. Marissa, he says, low and firm, we should at least talk alone. Why? I ask. So no one hears the part where you try to rewrite what's already printed? He flinches. I smile. It's fine, really. You're busy. We'll be in touch. I stand, Jason's hand in mine, and we walk to the door. Leah moves aside without a word. Mr. Doyle looks up as we pass. Congratulations again, Mrs. Henley, he says. It's quite the blessing. It is, I say. Let's hope it brings clarity. Jason skips into the hallway. I follow, the manila folder tucked back in my bag, Tyler's voice calling faintly after us. We'll talk soon, right? I don't answer. I just wave once over my shoulder. Jason says, I like when you do that. You sound like a superhero. Like what? When you don't answer but still win. I glance down at him and laugh softly. Let's get something sweet. As the elevator doors close, I look at our reflection in the metal me, still in my work blazer, Jason with his superhero shirt and folder in hand. I look calm, composed, like a woman who just became rich. But inside, the arithmetic is shifting. There are two sets of numbers now, what we have and what he thought he could take. I'm not just showing him the check. I'm watching who he becomes when he thinks I won't notice what's missing. Jason is asleep in the back seat by the time I pull into the driveway. The folder rests on his lap, the check still tucked carefully inside, like he's guarding treasure even in his dreams. I turn off the engine and just sit there, my hands still gripping the steering wheel. The sun is slipping behind the roofline, casting long shadows across our porch. It's too quiet. No barking dogs, no distant lawnmowers, just the faint click of cooling metal under the hood. I glance into the rearview mirror. My face looks the same. That always surprises me. You expect betrayal to show itself immediately, to carve new lines around your mouth or darken the corners of your eyes. But no, my reflection looks normal. A little tired, a little pale, but intact. On the passenger seat beside me sits Leah's folded email. I haven't opened it since the office. I haven't needed to. The gesture was loud enough. A warning wrapped in plain white paper. I reach for it but stop short, my fingers hovering just above the edge. Not yet. Inside the house, everything is still in its place. The shoes in the hallway, the bills on the counter. Jason's cereal bowl from breakfast, rinsed but not washed. I carry him up to bed, tucking him in without waking him. He sighs once, deep and happy. I linger longer than usual. Maybe because I need to remember what peace looks like. Downstairs, I pour a glass of water and sit at the kitchen table. Same spot where I first typed out plan after realizing what I held in my hand. Same place where I decided to wait to surprise, not announce. Now I know waiting is just another form of silence. And silence, in the wrong hands, becomes shelter for secrets. I unfold the paper slowly. The email chain is long but not complicated. The top message is from Leah, forwarding what she found. Her note is short. He deleted this, but I pulled it from the server. Thought you should know. The first message is from Tyler. Subject line, 400 and wunk, transfer inquiry. Dated 3 weeks ago. He's writing to someone named Carl at a law firm I've never heard of. The body of the message is clinical, but clear. He's asking about timelines for moving individual retirement accounts into alternative structures that limit liability during divorce proceedings. My name is never mentioned, but phrases like protective realignment, spousal exemption loophole, and discreet execution do all the talking. Carl replies with suggestions. Tyler responds with questions. Leah's forward includes the final message in the thread, where Carl confirms that any transfer before public windfall declaration should be secure from marital inclusion, barring contest. I stare at those words for a long time. Barring contest. I set the paper down and sip the water. It tastes like nothing. The room feels too large. Or maybe I feel too small. I don't cry. I don't scream. Those things are for people caught off guard. I'm not caught. I'm adjusting. Like a lens that finally comes into focus. My phone buzzes. A text from Tyler. Thinking of you two. Can't wait to talk next steps. Let me know if Jason's okay. I don't reply. 10 minutes later, another buzz. Leah said you seemed off. Everything good? I don't reply. Another. Should I be worried? Now I reply. Not yet. I place the phone face down. I stare at the folded edge of the email again. The silence of paper is different than the silence of people. Paper doesn't lie. It just waits to be read. I remember Leah's face when she handed it to me. She didn't blink. She didn't ask me to be careful. She knew I'd figure it out. I've always figured it out. That's the thing about being the one who keeps the books. You see patterns. Numbers don't cheat. They whisper the truth over time. And this isn't about the money. Not really. It's about who made room in their heart for partnership and who made plans to walk away with the bigger half. I glanced toward the living room. The couch where we watched old movies. The coffee table we argued over at IKEA. The rug I spilled wine on 2 Christmases ago and covered with a potted plant. All of it feels like a stage now. Set pieces. Props. I go to the filing cabinet in our small home office. I pull out the folder marked Joint. Inside, tax records, retirement accounts, mortgage documents, investment summaries, and Tyler's signature on every page. We filed jointly for 12 years. The ink doesn't lie. But apparently, it doesn't last either. I open a new document on my laptop. Title: Exit Protocol. I list assets. I list contacts. I list every date mentioned in the email. Then I create a new folder on the desktop. Contingency. Into it, I drop scans of the check, the receipt, the email chain, and every legal document we've signed together. I encrypt it with a passphrase I've never used before. Jason's middle name and the date I found the ticket. Because this is mine now. The money, the narrative, the next move. I close the laptop and go back to the kitchen. Tyler still hasn't texted again. Good. That means he's nervous. That means the mask is cracking. I like that. I'm not ready for the confrontation. But I'm close. I place the email back into Leah's original fold and tuck it into a new envelope. I seal it with clear tape. Then I write on the front, just in case. I place it inside Jason's school folder. Same as the check. Same place. Because sometimes the safest vault is the one no one suspects. Upstairs. Jason stirs in his bed but doesn't wake. I sit beside him again. Watch his chest rise and fall. He's dreaming of superhero stuff, I bet. Capes, villains, secret lairs. But this time, I'm the one with the cape, and the secret lair is made of files and folders and cold, hard truth. I lean down and whisper, "Sleep well, baby. We've got more than money now. We've got proof." I hear his car before I see it, same low-engine growl, same tires crunching over the gravel like always. There's something sharp in the rhythm tonight, though. A little too fast on the turn, a little too long before the engine shuts off. I don't move. I stay seated at the kitchen table, my laptop closed in front of me, a tea mug cradled in both hands. It's lukewarm now, but I'm not drinking it. Tyler doesn't come in right away. I hear the door creak open, then close gently. Keys on the hook. His footsteps are slower than usual, deliberate. I wonder how long he sat in the car, rehearsing. He steps into the kitchen, loosening his tie with one hand. "Hey," he says, too soft, like he's speaking to a sleeping dog. I look up, neutral. "Hey." He glances at the table. "Did you eat?" "Not hungry." He nods like he expected that. Pulls out a chair across from me but doesn't sit yet. Just rests his hands on the back of it. "Jason asleep?" "Since 8. Good. He had a big day. We all did." He finally sits. His fingers tap against the wood grain for a second. Then he stops himself. "Listen," he begins. "I've been thinking." "About what?" I ask. He exhales. "About the money. About everything. I know it's a lot. And I probably seemed distracted earlier. I just want to make sure we're aligned." "We are," I say. "Are we?" he asks carefully. I tilt my head slightly. "Shouldn't we be?" He studies me. He pauses, choosing words like landmines. "I know how your mind works. You analyze. You prepare. I don't want you to think I'm not with you on this." "Are you?" He leans forward. "Yes, of course. We're a team. We always have been." "Always?" I ask. "Tyler, I've read the email." He freezes, not a flinch, a lock. His pupils dilate for a second too long. Then he blinks. "What email?" "Don't," I say. Not loud, not hard, just final. Leah gave it to me. His mouth opens, then closes. He sits back slowly. "I didn't want to hurt you. But you planned for it," I say. "You structured it. Retirement accounts, asset redirection. Shielding from marital claims. That's not a mistake. That's a move." "I was scared," he says. "Of what?" "Of losing everything." "So you tried to take it first," I reply, "before I even told you what we had." He runs a hand through his hair. "Marissa, listen. This wasn't about greed. It was about panic. We've been off for a while. I didn't know where we stood. And then this lottery thing, it just exploded everything. It made it real." "No," I say. "It made it clear." He looks at me, and for the first time, I see it, the fear. Not of me, of exposure. "I didn't go through with it," he says quickly. I asked. "I never moved the money. I didn't sign anything." "But you would've," I say. "If I hadn't walked in today with Jason and the check, you would have buried that account before the ink dried." He doesn't answer. That's the answer. I sip the tea, cold now. He watches me. "So what now?" he asks. "Now," I echo. "Now we start over." Separately. His jaw clenches. "You're talking about divorce?" "I'm talking about consequence," I say. "You tried to rewrite the terms of our life without telling me. You used the system I built with you to hide your escape plan. It was a mistake," he insists. "No," I say. "It was a blueprint." He slumps slightly. "You're not even angry." "I am," I say. "But I'm tired first." We sit in silence for a moment. The clock ticks too loudly. Then he says, "You'll tell Jason?" "Not yet," I say. "But soon." "What are you going to do with the money?" I meet his eyes. "Protect it. Legally. Fully. From everyone, including you." "You don't mean that," he says. You're not that kind of person. I wasn't, I say, but I learned from the best. He flinches again. I push my chair back. You can sleep in the guest room tonight. Marissa. I'm done talking. For now. I carry the mug to the sink and rinse it. As the water runs, I hear his footsteps retreat. No protest, just defeat. When I turn off the faucet, I listen for the door to the guest room. It creaks open, then closes. I lock the front door. I check the windows. I double-check Jason's room. He's still curled up, one arm under his pillow. The superhero shirt is wrinkled now. I tuck the blanket higher around his shoulders. Back in my bedroom, I open the encrypted folder again. Check that every document is still there. It is. I rename the main file, Phase 2. I start drafting a letter to the attorney I found yesterday. Not a consultation, a retainer. By the time I close the laptop, the house is silent again. But it's not peace. It's the sound of a structure shifting, of weight redistributing. I don't feel rich. I feel awake. The next morning, Jason's laughter echoes from the hallway as he chases cereal bits across the floor with a spoon. He's dressed himself again, mismatched socks, cape shirt, and a belt he tied around his waist like armor. I pour his milk while checking the printer light. The second copy is already in the tray. Tyler walks in from the guest room, freshly shaved, tie still loosened around his neck, pretending nothing happened. Morning, he says like it's a dare. Sleep okay? I hand Jason his bowl and look up. Fine. You? Didn't sleep much, he says, smiling faintly. A lot on my mind. Understandable. He waits. I don't add anything. Jason grabs a napkin, wipes the table too aggressively, and says, I want pizza tonight. We'll see, I say. Maybe something healthier. Pizza has tomatoes, he says. That counts. Tyler chuckles and takes a mug from the cabinet. He gets that from you, you know. Always negotiating. I nod but say nothing. I pull the printout from the tray. Tyler freezes for half a second before covering it with a sip of coffee. I slip the email into a plastic sleeve and zip it into my tote. Jason watches curiously. Are we going back to Daddy's office? He asks. No, I say. Somewhere else today. Where? Somewhere important. Tyler shifts in place. Want me to come with you? I think it's best if we do this one without you. Marissa, come on. You said last night you didn't go through with it, I cut in. So this morning shouldn't bother you. He opens his mouth, then closes it. Jason hums a tune as I pack his folder. He sees the check and grins. Still safe. Always, I say, zipping it shut. Let's go. The drive is quiet. Jason draws on a napkin with a crayon he found in the glove box. I think about what happens next, not just the conversation, but the language. I already practiced it in my head. Terms like protective allocation, spousal offset, pre-declaration fraud. These are words that change everything. We park near the law office. It's a quiet building with gray glass and gold lettering. Watson and Fields, LLP. Jason reads it aloud. Is this where people go when they're in trouble? Sometimes, I say. Sometimes it's where they go to stop trouble. Inside, the receptionist offers us water. Jason picks grape juice instead. I smile. She says they're ready for me. Do you want him to wait outside? She asks. No, I say. He stays. We sit across from a woman named Monica, mid-40s, sharp suit, eyes that miss nothing. She greets Jason warmly, then turns to me. You have the documents? I hand her the plastic sleeve. This was deleted from his account, recovered by a colleague. She reads quickly, jaw tightening just once. You have a claim receipt? And the original check. I pull out the duplicates. Jason watches her, fascinated. Are you a lawyer or a detective? She smiles. Both, sometimes. He nods, satisfied. I explain everything, how we've been married 12 years, jointly filed taxes, mortgage in both names. I explain the timing of the win, the visit, the email. Monica listens without interrupting. When I finish, she leans back. You have a clean case, she says. He attempted to initiate financial shielding based on a speculative windfall. That qualifies as preemptive concealment, especially if you hadn't even claimed the money yet. We had not, I confirm. There's no way he can argue retroactive planning. Not successfully, she says. If we file for separation and move to marital asset freeze, you can lock everything before he tries again. That's what I want. Jason swings his feet under the chair. Are we winning? We're being smart, I tell him. Monica adds, which is how you win. She gives me a list, next steps, things to sign, warnings, what not to say, what to screenshot. We go through it all. Jason stays quiet, surprisingly focused. On the way out, he tugs my hand. Will Daddy be mad? Maybe, I say, but that's not your fault. Will he still be my daddy? Always, I say, but he has to fix what he broke. He seems to accept that. At home, Tyler isn't there. His car is gone. A note on the counter says, "Went to the office. Call me?" I don't. Instead, I scan everything into a new folder, upload it to the cloud, send a copy to Monica. Then I sit with Jason on the couch and let him pick the movie. He chooses a cartoon. Heroes, capes, secrets. The whole time, I hold his hand, even when he pretends not to notice, because now we're in it. Now the silence is gone. And I don't need to say it aloud to know that the reversal has begun. The office is humming when I step in, phones ringing, keyboards clicking, conversations paused mid-sentence. Familiar faces glance up and then away, like they were trained not to stare. Leah sees me first. Her eyes widen, then narrow slightly, a silent question. I nod once. She understands. Without a word, she turns toward Tyler's glass office and knocks twice. He looks up, surprised, then frowns. The expression vanishes when he sees me step in behind her. "Marissa," he says, standing too fast. "What are you doing here?" "Following up," I say. "Got a minute?" He glances at Leah, then waves a hand. "Give us some privacy." "No," I say. "Leave the door." His mouth tightens. Leah doesn't move. Tyler hesitates, then forces a smile and gestures to the chairs. "Sure, what's going on?" I sit across from him, place my tote bag on the desk, unzip it slowly. "You said yesterday you didn't follow through." "I didn't," he says quickly. "Nothing happened, I swear." "Right." I pull out the plastic sleeve and lay the email chain on the desk, each page face up, neatly. His face doesn't change for a second, then the color drains. "Where did you get this?" "Leah," I say, without blinking. Tyler's eyes snap to her. She doesn't flinch. "She pulled it before you deleted it," I add. "Or tried to." "This is private," he snaps. "So was our marriage." A beat of silence. Leah still doesn't move. Tyler reaches for the email, then stops himself. "You're overreacting." "Am I?" I ask. "Because from what I see here, you plan to hide funds from me if I ever came into money. Not just hide, restructure, retitle, erase. It was hypothetical," he says. "It was precautionary. I didn't even do it. But you intended to." He opens his mouth, closes it. In the hallway, Mr. Doyle pauses, watching through the glass. A few others start to gather, trying to look casual. I don't lower my voice. "I brought this so you'd understand how serious this is, not just to me, but to the law." Tyler stands. "This isn't the place. It's the perfect place," I say, standing too, "because it's where you started the lie. It's where you told people you were building a future with me while planning an exit without me." His voice lowers. "You want to embarrass me?" "No," I say. "I want you to see what exposure feels like." I turn to Leah. "Thank you." She nods. Mr. Doyle steps in now as if drawn by gravity. "Everything okay in here?" "That depends," I say. "Do you consider asset concealment ethical practice, Mr. Doyle?" His face blanches. I don't know what you're referring to." "Then you'll want to read this." I slide a copy of the email toward him. He stares, confused. "There's a lawyer involved now," I continue, "and a formal protective filing. I came here to deliver the truth before the lawsuit arrives." "You deserve that much, Tyler." "This is personal," he mutters. "And professional," I add. "You mixed both. Now I'm clarifying." Leah steps closer. "I'll make copies," she says quietly. Tyler glares at her. "You're enjoying this?" "No," she replies, "but I'm tired of covering for you." He turns back to me. "You're blowing everything up." "No," I say. "You did. I'm just handing out the blueprints." I pick up my tote, zip it, and sling it over my shoulder. "You'll be hearing from Monica Fields by end of week. She has all the originals." Tyler looks like he's aged 10 years in 5 minutes. His voice breaks slightly. "Marissa, please." "No more begging," I say. "This isn't a negotiation. It's a receipt." And then I leave. past Doyle, who's still reading, past the receptionist, who doesn't ask if I need help. The door closes behind me with a soft thud that feels louder than anything he's ever said to me. In the parking lot, the sun hits full across the windshield. I sit in the car a moment, breathing. My heart is steady, my hands still. For the first time in months, I feel clear. The call comes just after noon. I'm sitting on the front porch, a notebook open beside me, Jason's chalk drawing still fresh on the sidewalk. Monica's voice is calm, precise. "We've filed the preliminary notice," she says. "The court acknowledged receipt an hour ago. That means any movement on joint assets from Tyler's side is now frozen by default." "Good," I say. "And the trust? Established in your name, beneficiary listed as Jason Henley, irrevocable." I nod, even though she can't see me. That's what I wanted. I included the receipts, the check, and the original email thread in the filing index. The judge will see the sequence. Intent is clear. "Do we anticipate a fight?" "Of course," she says, "but he's behind now. That's the difference. You moved first." I thank her and hang up. The sun is hot on my knees. I press the phone to my chest for a moment. Not for emotion, but for grounding. The weight of it reminds me this is real. This isn't theory or plan anymore. It's motion. I go inside and print a second copy of the trust documents, one for my records, one for my lawyer. As the pages feed out of the printer, I think about the last 3 weeks. A lottery ticket, a kiss that felt staged, a folder hidden in a child's backpack, a betrayal typed in corporate language, a reversal typed in legal language. The printer dings. I staple the pages together. Tyler calls around 1:15. I let it ring. He texts instead. "We need to talk." Another. "You humiliated me." Another. "I didn't deserve that." Then, "You're really going through with this?" I reply, "Already did." 30 minutes later, the doorbell rings. I don't answer. Jason's in the backyard playing with a plastic sword. I watch him through the window. He's slashing at imaginary villains, cape flying behind him. I let him play, let him win. The doorbell rings again. I finally open the door. Tyler stands there, tie gone, shirt wrinkled. He looks tired. He's holding a folder. "You could have talked to me," he says. "I did. You lied." I panicked. "You plotted." "There's a difference," he insists. "There is," I say, "and the court will decide what it means. You're making this ugly." "No," I say. "I'm making it accurate." He steps forward slightly. "Marissa, please. We built a life. We raised a son. We can't fix this?" "Fix what?" I ask. "Your deception? Or the fact that you lost control of the narrative?" He doesn't answer. I take the folder from his hands. "What is this?" "Joint account summaries, tax prep docs, anything you might need." "Now you're helpful," I say. "A little late." He exhales hard. "I made a mistake. More than one," I say, "but I'm documenting them all." I close the door gently. Not a slam, just final. Back at the table, I review the folder. Some of it is useful. Most of it is an attempt at relevance. He wants to be seen as cooperative, like effort will override intent. I upload what matters to Monica. The rest, I shred. That night, Jason and I eat pizza on the floor. He makes a throne from pillows, declares himself protector of the check. I let him. He deserves a crown. Tyler doesn't call again. I know the storm's building now. The pushback, the plea deals, the performative apologies. But I'm ready. Not with fire. With facts. With receipts. And a lawyer who reads faster than he lies. The courthouse smells like polished wood and old air, like history trying to stay clean. Jason isn't here. Monica insisted on that. "You don't bring a child to a war zone," she said. I agreed. "He's with my sister, building pillow forts and eating pancakes, far from this cold room with its leather chairs and heavy silence. Tyler's here, seated 2 chairs down, wearing his best suit, hair combed too carefully. He looks like a man who believes appearance might still save him. His lawyer, a man named Grant with a too white smile, taps the table with a gold pen while they whisper before the judge enters. Monica sits beside me, still, alert. Her files are stacked in perfect order. She doesn't whisper. She doesn't blink more than necessary. I've come to appreciate that kind of steadiness. When the bailiff announces the judge, everyone stands. Then we sit, and it begins. It's not a trial, just a hearing, but it carries weight. This is the first time the truth will be entered into public record. The first time Tyler's actions won't be filtered through charm or denial. Monica begins. She lays out the timeline: when I bought the ticket, when it was claimed, when Tyler sent the first email to Carl, the financial consultant. She passes the judge a printout of the chain, the same one I laid across Tyler's desk 2 weeks ago. Grant objects, but the judge waves it off. "Let's hear it," she says. Her voice is steady, but her eyes are sharp. Monica highlights the phrases: limit liability during divorce proceedings, pre-declaration shielding, spousal exemption strategy. She makes no accusations, she lets the words do it. The courtroom is silent except for her voice. Tyler shifts beside Grant. Once, he tries to speak, but his lawyer places a hand on his arm. "Wait, hold, don't dig deeper." When it's Grant's turn, he tries charm. He calls Tyler an upstanding father, a man who panicked at the prospect of upheaval and sought information, not execution. He says Tyler loved his wife and son and simply wanted to understand options. He uses the word misguided twice. I count. When the judge speaks again, her tone doesn't change, but the air does. "Mr. Henley," she says, "is it your signature on this message dated July 19th? "Yes, Your Honor," he replies. "Did you send this without your spouse's knowledge?" "Yes." "Did you conceal this communication until your colleague retrieved it?" He glances at me, then down. "Yes." "Do you have any proof that you informed your spouse of this plan at any point before the lottery was claimed?" He doesn't answer. The silence lasts 4 full seconds. The judge nods. Noted. Monica sits back. She knows it's enough. This isn't about money anymore. It's about intent, about the blueprint of betrayal now laminated into record. When the judge recesses, Monica leans over and says, "She's granting the freeze. He won't touch a dollar." "What about custody?" I ask. "That comes next," she says. "But today, you won." Outside, the sun is too bright. Tyler follows us onto the steps, catches up. "Marissa," he says, "please." I stop. "Please what? This doesn't have to end like this." "It already did," I say, "back when you made a plan without me. It was just an idea. You were going to steal from your son," I say. "Don't twist this." "I'm not twisting anything. That's what you were doing. Twisting documents, shifting assets, laying traps in spreadsheets." His voice rises. People nearby glance over. "You don't get to rewrite the ending just because I'm not crying in it." He stops, stunned. "I loved you. Maybe," I say, "but you loved control more." I turn to leave. He calls after me. "What do I tell people?" "Tell them the truth," I say. "That's what you were avoiding, right?" I don't wait for an answer. Monica opens the car door. I slide in. As we pull away, I check my phone. A photo from my sister, Jason in a blanket cape, holding a paper crown, smiling. My eyes sting, but I don't cry. Not here, not now. Because this part, the part where truth wins, it's not sad, it's justice. 3 weeks later, the house is quiet. Not sad quiet, clean quiet, like the kind that follows a storm when the air smells new and you can finally breathe without looking over your shoulder. Jason's school backpack leans against the door. He's upstairs brushing his teeth, humming something I don't recognize. The kitchen clock ticks louder now that the TV is off. My phone buzzes once, Monica. The settlement is finalized. The protective trust stands. Full custody granted. No contest from Tyler. Just a signature at the bottom of the 4th page. I stare at the message for a moment. There's no celebration in me. Just exhale. Quiet, full. I open the drawer under the toaster. Pull out the manila folder. The check is still inside. Crisp, unbent, untouched. I take it out and place it on the table. Then I pull out the copy of the email, the one Leah gave me the first domino. And finally, Jason's superhero drawing. Me with a cape, standing in front of a castle made of paper, holding a shield made of light. I place all 3 side by side. This is the legacy now. Truth, protected. Trust, earned. Power, used carefully. The doorbell rings. It's Leah. She holds up a box of donuts. "Victory carbs," she says. I smile and let her in. She glances at the check. "You gonna cash that yet?" "Not today," I say. "Why not?" Because it's not about the check anymore, it's about what I did without it. Leah sets the box down. He's leaving town, she says after a pause. Handed in his resignation, Doyle told me. Where's he going? Not sure. Somewhere he can rewrite the story. I nod. That's fine. Let him write fiction. I have documents. Jason bounds downstairs. Donuts? If you brush extra well tonight, I say. He grabs one with sprinkles and takes a massive bite. Did Daddy sign the paper? He did, I say. So we're safe now? We always were, I say. But now it's official. Leah watches him. He's stronger than most adults I know. He was born into fire, I say. Had to learn to walk through it early. Jason holds up the drawing. I made a new one. He shows Leah. Mom has 2 swords now. Leah smiles. You should hang that on the fridge. No, I say. Frame it. Later, after Leah leaves and Jason is asleep, I sit alone at the kitchen table again. I take the check, slide it into a safety sleeve, and place it in the fireproof box. Not because I fear someone will take it, but because I know its worth now. Not in dollars, but in what it revealed. The reversal didn't come from rage or revenge. It came from clarity, from knowing that silence isn't safety, that the truth, once printed and placed in the right hands, becomes armor. Tomorrow I'll meet with the architects. Jason and I will build something new, a home he feels proud of. A business I'll run with the steadiness Tyler never had. But tonight, I sit in the quiet, my cape folded, my sword sheathed, and I breathe in the clean, sharp air of the aftermath. The truth didn't just set me free. It made me whole.